And we're back with some more X4. And our little defense platform is coming along nicely. We have 4 of the 5 discs completed, and I'm even going to put in a 6th one just for funsies. Note to self, maybe
Shield generator.
don't have the laser one go on first. There's a bunch of heavy beam turrets that are here to ping ships that are trying to warp by. The plasma and the flak will never hit them if the ship's going by at high speed, but the lasers are instant hit. So since they're instant hit, they'll knock other ships out of transit while they're... Oh yeah, there's wrecks already. And to deal with all of these wrecks, we have assigned out a ship. Where is it? The Minotaur Raider. You. Oh, there comes some guests now. Anyway, the Minotaur Raider over there. Oh, he's out of there. He is set to go around and pick up all the junk that drops. However, if he gets shot at, he does the very same thing of running away as quickly as possible. And you can see the beam weapons there. I think I like the beam weapons, but I would definitely put them on one of the later editions. Because the plasma basically shreds large ships, and that's the only thing that really bothers me. Oh my god. The joy of defense platforms. But basically anything that shows up gets shredded, and then our guy comes back and... Whoa, okay. What the hell?
Wyvern. Mineral.
You're a big boy. Anything else left? No, all dead. Yeah, this is what an operational, not even a fully operational, but this is what an operational defense tower looks like. And it's really hard to overemphasize just how stupendously overpowered defense towers are in compared to normal ships. So I'll try to explain it this way. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 large plasma on top of that. Oh, wait. We have a branch 9 eye destroyer has just shown up. 9.6 kilometers away, but 9... Ooh. He's probably going to destroy that mammoth. Or he's going to shoot at something anyway. Oh, and here comes the... Don't do something stupid, buddy. If you get shot at, run out of there. But at the moment, that Minotaur Raider's gone to get his hand on something. Where are we? Ah, yes. This guy down here is now getting peppered with enough plasma to turn most of his hull into hot slag in no time at all. Like, look at just that stream of heavy plasma. Ugh, I'll have to go over like the amount of plasma that you can fit on, or heavy plasma you can fit onto normal destroyer class ships in a minute. But let's just watch this guy. Like, it took me like a bajillion years to kill the last one I met in this fighter. True, I was in a fighter. Okay, half the time I was in a spacesuit, chucking high explosives at it. But yeah, now that its shields are gone, these things melt. You're just a big putty cat, aren't you? And the great thing is, even if it does shoot this tower, it can defend itself. Not only can it defend itself, it can repair itself as well, as long as it doesn't take critical damage to the module. And done. Completely destroyed. And how's our Minotaur doing? Where are you? Ah, here he is. Our Minotaur right now is popping over probably to pick up that processing panel, then the decryption modules, and... Oh. Are you? Yep, they are. So those popped out of that destroyer that just got killed. And that's it. They pop over here, grab that, and then pop back to there. The way we're going to do that is they actually have a few orders going on. The first is behavior. It's set to repeat orders. You have to have at least a 1-star pilot to allow them to repeat orders. All of these, you can see they have different requirements. Like to be a police, you need 2 stars. Auto salvage is 2 stars. Advanced auto trade, 3 stars. Fuel shortages, 2 stars. Like all of those things take resources or take a level of competency on your pilot. Then all we do is grab them and go... Where is it? Just right-click anywhere and go collect drops. And since it's a repeat order, it will collect the drops and keep going back to that same location again and again and again. So anything that gets dropped inside this big blue circle will get picked up by this Minotaur. The Minotaur is just a little... You could use any ship to do this. You could use a fighter if you want, though I find medium-class ships are better. And then under its individual instructions, its default response to getting attacked, escape. We set it to escape and... Oh!
K
Destroyer. Yeah, a lot closer. He's actually firing at our defense platform. Holds at 77. Ooh. Holds at 76. 75. We're going to need to get the repair drones out to fix that. Is that the repair drones? Defense drones have been launched. You're also going to probably want some repair drones. How's the hull looking? 70%. And, oh. Yeah, like I said, these things just chew stuff up for breakfast. Try and imagine how much firepower it takes to bring this down instantly. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. For example, if we'll go over to here, this is an Argon shipyard. And go to buy ships. There is the large ships or the extra large. Let's try an extra large. We'll try a Colossus. Ugh, no, actually, these are all carriers. Let's go with the Behemoth E Destroyer. And then we'll go into turret groups. And then large turrets. This thing has the capacity for how many large turrets? One plasma turret there. One plasma turret there. Is that it? Oh my god, and a whole bunch of mediums? Oh wait, no, this thing can take more than that, right? No? Are you kidding me? Only two Okay, 1 second. We'll try the Vanguard. The Vanguard can hopefully carry more. Oh, you are kidding me. These things are trash. Like, it can carry 2 large plasma turrets and then a bunch of mediums. 2 large plasma turrets and 2, 4, 6, 8 mediums. So 2 large turrets and 8 mediums. One of these discs, just one, has 8 large plasma. And then, or 1 second, we'll get in a little bit closer so you can see. See that? That's flak. There's 4 flak turrets there on top. Pretty sure there's a few more. I can't even remember. However, that's only one side. If we say go down here to the bottom of the turret platform, you notice it's a mirrored setup on the other side. Meaning there's another 8 plasma cannons on the other side of this thing. Meaning this thing sports an absolutely astronomical 16 plasma cannons and 8 flak turrets. It's basically got more firepower than just any other destroyer in existence. And what's that? Never mind, who cares? Let's just hope we don't get caught in a crossfire. The point being, Oh!
Mammoth Vanguard.
Is that another?
Factory.
Yeah.
Mammoth Vanguard. K.
K destroyers show up. This is like, this thing eats them for breakfast, and it's not finished. I really feel like I have to point that out here. This thing only has 4 of the 5 discs I normally like to build. Okay, maybe it's overkill. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. All I know is this thing is just a joy to put down and then not have to worry about anything bothering you ever again. Because each one of these discs is basically worth about 2 destroyers worth of firepower. Sure, you can only bring half of it to bear at any one time, but most destroyers can't bring half of their weaponry to bear at any one time either. How's we looking on the hull there? That hull's getting awful scratched. I do not like that. Oh, look. Ship's trying to make it through at high speeds.
SE.
It got knocked out of travel drive, and it still made it out of range. Good job. Hopefully it comes back for seconds. Okay, well. Anyway, why I'm not worried about it getting too damaged is if we go back to the ship, or this, and we find it, and we right-click on it, and go to Plan Build. Wait, not Plan Build. And we go to Logical Overview. We can go into drones. And what we want to do is we want to have 20 defense drones and 20 repair drones. Now, the way that happens is, and since we've set this to be under closed loop, now I know I haven't covered a lot about closed loop, but closed loop basically simplifies the production chain so you don't have to get anything too crazy to build stuff. This thing only requires energy cells and hull parts to make drones. And once the drones get up and running, we already have 10 of them constructed. They should start popping out to repair it. In fact, are they out right now? They should be. Defense drone, defense drone. Why are no repairs going on? This thing should be getting repaired good right now. It really is K season out here. Yeah, I definitely need to get some repair drones working on this.
Factory.
This thing's starting to get scratched seriously. We need a lot more repair drones. Well, bugger me. I just saw that get destroyed. Actually destroyed one of the modules. You asshat. That's really frustrating. I mean, good on him and all that. I mean, kind of impressed. Where is our Minotaur currently? I presume he's still gathering all of the juicy resources. Yeah, they're on their way to pick up all that stuff. Oh, and if we check on the Minotaur who's going around picking this all up, I should probably rename him from Minotaur to Junk Collector 1. If we go under crew, we can actually look at his inventory. So it tells us he has 74 items on him. So he's got like AGI heuristic cores, hallucinogenics, remote detonators, space flags, all of the stuff he's picking up. So we can go and collect those off him at some point. We can either get him to land at a station, or assuming we get the teleport stuff, we could eventually teleport onto the ship and just take it from him directly. Right now, though, what I'm trying to do is get my hands on a few transport ships so that I can start getting more resources here. I need to get this thing finished. Like, soon. And I also need to edit out that... I wonder, will it rebuild that? Like, I assume it'll finish this off at some point. You know what? Not going to worry about it. We still need to get our hands on a whole bunch of hull parts, electronics, like... damn it. Ah, would you look at that? It's automatically replacing it once we got it the resources. Makes sense, I suppose. We've got this one on the line, so we're back to full power again. Well, not full power. We're back to where we were in terms of firepower. And I think the reason the hull is at 69% is because these things aren't built. I think once everything's built, we'll be fine. Also, I need some more repair drones, definitely. I went off and did a few little side things, and I let this junk collect. So the junk collector here has been going around for a while, and we have also managed to unlock teleportation under the research tree. So teleportation is now finished. This allows us to teleport over short ranges. What that means in... 1 second. Someone's arrived. Oh. Yep, they've caught the attention of the tower. That will not end well for them. Anyway, yes, where were we? Junk collector. Yes, now that we've got teleportation as well, it makes this easier. We can just hit the G key, and we can teleport to the nearest ship we want to, which is this one. Now, we're going to grab the inventory from this guy. We can get him... Oh, just tell him. Hand me your inventory. We could also get him to drop that inventory off somewhere, but I usually find it easier to do it this way. Currently, under our inventory, we are holding 3.9 million. So let's say we've got about 4 million in junk in our inventory. After talking to... Oh, no. I don't want control of your ship. All I want from you is your inventory. Perfect. Then if we go back in, our inventory is now up to 6.2 million. Okay, not amazing, but in all fairness, it's free money. The more important part, though, is this section here, you have to worry about the Xenon invading this and killing the Argon. And since we want to keep the Argon alive for our plans, we kind of want to keep this area sealed off, so this should stop the Xenon from ever overrunning the sector. It can happen. There are other sectors that can overrun, namely stuff belonging to the Taladi. I'm pretty sure they got mauled occasionally in a few spots. Not too worried about them dying out, to be honest. That means we just can now get around to starting, well, the main money-making scheme. And that's going to be heading to a special location. Checking through this, we seem to have picked up enough spacefly eggs to finally make space caviar. That's worth about 1 million. Not so bad. We've also got 3 damaged singularity engines, which means we can sell 2 of those. And we got another one here. So that's about over 300 grand in those. Nice. It's actually a fair bit of nice good stuff here that we can sell off. Also, that's a whole bunch of AGI heuristic cores, neural networks, and processors. We can use all of those for making hacking materials. I think we're a little bit past the hacking. We'll be doing that occasionally from now on. Oh, and we've also got our hands. We should have sedatives. Only 2. I was hoping we'd have more. Oh well, we've gone on a little bit of excursion to Windfall. These 3 Windfall sectors here belong to, well, there's the Alliance Wharf, and then there's a whole bunch of Viger stuff through here. This is the main Viger syndicate location. They're basically a crime syndicate who basically deal in a lot of ice. Yeah, I know. The future is weird, okay? Let's just put it that way. And over here, there's this one gate we have not explored. Now, this jump gate leads to, I want to say the Rip Takers, the Riptide Avarice sector. This is a weird sector, and we want to set up shop in here. It's a weird place to set up shop. It's a little bit tricky. We're going to have to do some questing, but I'm going to do that real quickly, and we're going to skim it like a lot. Basically, this guy is a muppet who keeps messing things up. Your job, stop him from dying. This guy's ship is busted, so the game effectively teaches you how to repair ship components by popping out there and doing a little bit of repairs.
Engine.
Then the guy tries to restart the engine. This will go badly, I believe. Yeah. The guy then asks us to fix some signal leaks on his ship. It's kind of like doing the scanner thing, but you're just fixing them with your repair gun. So basically, this guy won't leave his ship, but we have to convince him to leave. Yep.
Alright. It looks like I have to cut my losses.
Excellent. And then once we convince him to leave, he gets off, and this part of the mission's over. And the guy pops over to us. Hey, don't get windshield splattered. And excellent. Once he's docked up, we'll head to wherever they tell us to go, but we need to get out of here pronto because the sun's about to explode. No, wait, no. It's called the tide. The sun basically does this big pulse, and everyone gets torched, basically, unless you're on a station. If it's not clear already, this Talabody is a little bit of an incompetent muppet. This is his friend here who's basically going to rep him a ship, and by rep him a ship, I mean she's basically going to give him the ship for free, and by free, I mean she's going to get us to steal the ship for him, and then he will have to pay her back in first. She should not be doing business with this guy. I cannot emphasize enough, he is a terrible Taladi at business. So we pop over to the scrapyard, sitting on her lap, of course, and this is basically just a tutorial on how to claim ships that are unclaimed. Now, there's a little bit of laser defense around the scrapyard, but we're not going to care too much about that. It's basically just grab ship, fly away. After a long and very slow travel, we managed to get the ship back to Tidebreak. The whole point of doing all of that was so that the Taladi who lost their ship could get a new one. Perfect, you can have the JP whatever. Done. The next mission from this incompetent Taladi is to teach us how to trade, something we've been doing quite a lot of already, so let's just skip this bit. After a while, the Taladi drags you along for another mission. This one, though, is about the magical fairy juice that protects all the stations in the Avarice system from the big solar tides that happen. Now, the magical fairy juice that protects everyone turns out a little bit of short supply, and there's a monopoly involved. So we want to see if we can be the monopoly instead of the other people. Instead of just buying a sample of the magical fairy juice, protectorate or whatever it is, from a regular station like normal people, we go and approach the CEO of the company, at which point we discover he is a total Wally. He's just got one of those voices, faces, and mannerisms that just makes you want to slap him so badly. It's like the moment you see him, you're like, yes, I want to kill this guy. I don't care what it costs, but this guy has to die. It's just, that type of face. I mean, I gotta give it to them, but, never mind. Let's just skip it forward a bit. We take the sample he gives us, we hand it off to our fishy friend who does the sciencey stuff so we can have a look at it. Of course, he's going to ask us to wander across the map, grab some stuff, bring him some supplies, and get the usual fetch quest stuff.
You can use this sample to engineer a competing product. It won't work. North River products are just too ingenious. Run along now. I have much more important matters to attend to.
Unfortunately, our fishy friend can't figure out how the magical fairy juice is made. So, through convoluted reasons, we end up challenging the guy to a race. We figure we race the smarmy CEO guy, and if he loses, he'll tell us how to make the stuff. And if he wins, he gets to keep the ship we're racing in. And it has to be a mid-sized ship, but we have a sneaky-deaky plan. What we're going to do is just research teleport technology, have one ship at the start line, one at the end, and then like a bit of the way through the race, we'll just teleport to the farther ahead ship and go across the line. Because cheating is a totally legit way of winning. Yeah, totally. This is also a sneaky way to teach you how to modify your ships, as in your engines here, so we can have a faster ship. This is actually part of the mission. That seems to be the case with a lot of the storylines, and this is they actually teach you about some of the varying mechanics in the game, because there's just so many, I can kind of understand why they do it this way. But anyway, yes, we're going to modify a ship to race this guy with. And then, buy two identical ships, of course. One modified, one we leave at the finish line. Surprisingly enough, we lose, despite using our cheating teleport technology. Though realistically, this is a tiny racetrack. I should just put a fast... You know what? It doesn't make a difference. I believe this is scripted, so you can't actually win this race. The guy wins before you, even though we cheat. And I love how the other two are so annoyed by it. And it's like, he just cheated better than us. You can't really complain about losing a race you're cheating in because the other person cheated better. It's like cheating at gambling and then discovering that the other people cheated as well and they just cheated better than you. Yeah, I mean, okay, you're going to be annoyed. You got to kind of hand it to them. You were both playing on a level playing field and you just got beaten fair and square. Well, not fair and square. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. It was like it was a technically even playing field. But yes, basically we lose this and then they have to come up with a new plan. Which is to analyze the anomalies. They figure it's got to be he's used the anomalies or something, though realistically looking at it, considering the spaces involved and how this all plays out, no, it could, you know what, doesn't matter, we just got to get through this so that we can get our hands on the magical fairy juice to protect the station we want to build here and have a good, stable supply.
Ha! Finally! I can't believe it took you that long. Well, actually I can. Thanks to my far superior ship and piloting skills, you never stood a chance. The Astrid helped as well, of course. Now hand over the ship! I don't really have any use for this heap of junk, so I think I'll just scrap it. This whole farce just to prove a point. Do not mess with the North River Company!
With the race lost, the plan is to look for some old tech from some scientists who studied back here in the day, and then some of the Vigor Syndicate showed up, and we have to fight them off, and then we find the black box, and then inside the black box it gives us an audio log about a special sector that has some magical fairy dust in it. So now we got to figure out how to get to the magical fairy dust, which means it has something to do with the anomalies and something to do with the tide. So the tide and the anomalies and how they're interacting should get us to the magical fairy dust sector. Yeah, just, normal Tuesday night stuff. Fishy scientists figure out that when the tide hits, what it does is it interacts with one of the little anomalies, and it stabilizes it and makes it go specifically to one place. So what we have to do is wait till just before the tide hits, and then fly through this anomaly. Now, I would like to say, if he's wrong about this, wouldn't that just mean that when the tide hits, we'll die? you know, I don't think this guy values his assistants' lives very much. But anyway, we successfully get in there, and we actually get to the other side of the anomaly and end up in the place called Leap of Faith, which is a very apt name if you ask me. On the other side of this, we find actually your man there, actually twins. They kind of look like a cross between Lex Luthor and Ming the Merciless. It's just like, it's like Lex Luthor, but with Ming the Merciless's dress sense, though with the brains of someone far dumber. Actually, they probably got Ming's brains. That makes sense. Anyway, the whole thing here is there's this big weird building on the edge of this, on the accretion disk of this wormhole. That's where all the Bose-Einstein condensate comes from. How is super cool? You know what? It doesn't matter. It's magical fairy juice. So the magical fairy juice is produced by this ancient building belonging to an ancient civilization. These guys didn't even learn how to harness it. Someone else had harnessed it, probably the earlier scientist. They figured out how to transport it. That's their only contribution to this, is the transportation of the fairy juice. So, yeah, they basically explain there's two options here. One option, they basically take out a bounty on you and have the Viger Syndicate hunt you down consistently and constantly forever and ever and ever. Or, you know, you could just join up with them and, you know, you keep their secret and you take over the Viger Syndicate. So, here's the thing.
Oh, please, don't
you see, the crazy thing is, I looked this up just to see what the options were, and if you side with them, this actually works out quite nicely for you. What happens is, they will basically not call anyone in on you, but what you have to do is knock out the Viger Syndicate leadership. Which means you wander over to the Viger Syndicate guys, and you're going to have to destroy one of their bases, or one of their stations, which is usually a pretty easy thing to do. They won't even see you're coming, you can sabotage it beforehand, and when you sabotage their leadership, you actually end up becoming the police for the entire Viger Syndicate space, so those 3 sectors, and you gain control of all their defense platforms and a bunch of fighters. Actually a really good deal. And then, at the same time, they will sell you one of these Asteroid-class ships, which is super important. These Asteroid-class ships, they have this special cargo hold that can hold the fairy juice. You can buy other ships that can hold fairy juice, but the unfortunate problem about those is it's only small versions, or small ships. They can hold a very small amount, which means once every hour, because that's how long the tide takes to come in, once an hour, you can take a ship or 3 into here, grab some condensate, and come back out again. But if you had one of the asteroids, which they will sell you, you can get one of those, you can do massive runs, so you do one run, like one run one time, and then you won't have to come back and do another run for like 10 hours or something like that, which makes it much handier. The other option is you do the, you basically steal the blueprints off them, and then at that point, they call in the Viger Syndicate to try and murder you, which is a problem. Because the Viger Syndicate will just start sending wave after wave of people after you, no matter where you are. At the same time, their entire space goes hostile. And the only way to stop it is, well, one, pay 15 million to the Viger Syndicate. At that point, they'll stop sending waves after you, but they'll still hate you, and you can't travel through their space nor can into your ships, and they're permanently locked at -20 mood until you kill a base, which will have their leader on it. And if you kill the base that has their leader on it, that will free them up and they'll eventually stop hating you. Well, they'll hate you less. You should be able to get them back to friendly terms at that point. You won't be locked down anymore. So you still have to kill the base as you did before, or the station, but you got to do it with the entire Viger Syndicate hating you. You can't sneak onto the station, and you can't sabotage it or do anything beforehand because, you know, they're already hostile to you. So it's actually far, far worse to go against these guys. You're better off actually siding with them and buying an asteroid off them. Oh, and we will kind of have to kill the Talati guy. The Talati guy who's really incompetent, I mean, no big loss there. If we kill the Talati guy who's really incompetent and do all the others and, you know, blow up a base that we can sneak up on, we can quickly and efficiently get in on this monopoly. It's actually the smart play. The only problem I can see, and it's actually a bit of a big one, these guys are absolute asshats. I just hate them so much that even though it's financially better to side with them, I just hate them too much. I can't physically do it. Siding with these vulturous, leeches, self-entitled douchebags just rubs me so wrong. I would rather take financial pain than actually suffer for them to live and still prosper off this. They're just too goddamn smug. If they could keep their mouth shut and actually just be quiet about this, I would have been like, yes, this is a smart, reasonable plan. But no, they just have to be raging douchebags. Do you see that flashing red light on the left-hand side of the screen over there on the window? Yeah, that's an EMP mine.
What? Who are you talking
So, after... Okay, I had to save skim a bit on this one because, yeah, this one was tricky. What I wanted to do was capture both of their ships, which is theoretically possible. They actually set it up so you can capture one of their ships quite handily. But capturing 2, they don't really want you to do that. But with a bit of save scumming and testing, I discovered that if you plant 2 EMP bombs on their ships, and okay, I maybe surrounded the whole place in a sea of turrets, they don't seem to care. The moment this meeting starts, I started shooting at them just to test it. They don't even care. I knocked 20% off their hull. They were like, cool with that. You can't damage them below 80%. You can knock 20% of their hull off, but no more. Anyway, yes, we put some EMP bombs on their ship, while at the same time we surrounded them in laser turrets. Turns out, when you detonate the EMP bombs, one of them they both go dormant after it, and it kind of stuns them, and it knocks them out of whatever pre-things they were supposed to do. They were supposed to run away, but they don't. So then we trigger one of them, and then we're able to grind him down until his health basically reduces down low enough that the pilot ejects. At which point, we're able to switch over to the second one, and then we can basically repeat the process. In fact, we really need a save in the middle, because the EMP stuns them, or whatever it does, it breaks the AI. And then, boom, we're able to capture both the asteroids. Problems, though. Turns out there's escape pods on the ships, and they get onto their escape pods. One of them I was able to kill. The other one, unfortunately, I couldn't. So, yeah, one of them is still alive at least, which is really frustrating. But I am hopeful that later on we can track them down and kill them. That is, I mean, they just deserve it so much. And that brings us all the way to the current moment. Right now, this entire sector in here is hostile to us because this is Vigor Syndicate territory. Yeah, they don't like us. In fact, they are -20, and they're going to stay at -20 for the foreseeable future. The only way to stop them hating us is to complete a mission. That mission is to destroy this ice refinery which contains their leadership. Problem is, there's a few fighters around here. Like a lot of fighters. So we might need to get a destroyer together to wipe them out. No, currently we're not in a destroyer anymore. After we did that race, we were left with a medium-sized ship. So this is the Dragon. It carries 6 medium-sized cannons on it, which we've put in the beam weapons. And the thing is, I was just reading a little bit of a tutorial on this that someone had made up, they'd gone through all the weapons, and they said the beam weapons are pretty weak sauce. However, if you modify the beam weapons heavily, what you can do is get something that's instant hit and actually has quite good damage. It's to do with how these things dissipate heat really well. They don't have a very high heat gain unlike most other weapons. So you give them the slasher mod, which is usually reserved for turrets, and the slasher mod does increase their heat gain, but because of their ability to lose heat is so good already, the slasher mod doesn't hurt them as much, and you can almost triple their damage depending on how good you roll. Downside is it requires a whole bunch of unique ingredients. However, those unique ingredients can be collected at combat sites. And our junk collector over here has been collecting them good-o. In fact, they've got 317 things in their inventory, and what we are looking for here is high-energy catalysts. Yeah, we're going to need a bunch more of those to finish upgrading this ship. But, yeah, it's a fun ship. It's not a good enough ship to go after, say, a bajillion fighters that the Vigor Syndicate have. So, plans. Do we either A, figure out a sneaky breaky way to do that, as in a lot of spacesuit explosives, maybe we could destroy just a few key modules on the station and that would finish the mission? Or 2, do we get our hands on a destroyer and just go in and smash everything to bits? It would cost us a bunch of money. We've already had to pay the Vigor Syndicate 15 million, which I did not like. Though I will admit, I have been doing some sneaky stuff on the side as well. Actually, let me do a quick check here. While I was playing around, I found a way to make more black markets. Well, I started making more black markets by doing some missions for stations. You go around, you scan them. Now, this place here, if we check up the trade offers, we'll go down, we got the black art markets give you space fuel, space food, stimulants, and magia dust. Now, the thing about this one is you'll notice it's got 285, 335, 185 demand. It's got like a decent sized demand, but the prices here are not great. Let's just take, say, space fuel. 278, say 280. So 280 for space fuel. But then what we do is we're just going to put in defense. And we're going to limit it to defense platforms. And I worked on getting defense platforms up with also having black markets, which actually turned out to be really easy. So the space fuel here is 395. True, you can only sell 60 of it, but it's an infinite demand. This never goes away. You sell it 60, 2 seconds later, well, about 5 seconds later, it's going to want 60 more. Over here, let's check you. Space fuel, 403 demand, 150. It's going to take 150 at a time. Once you sell it 150, it'll refresh instantly. What I think is going on here, I can't be 100% certain, but this place here is an actual microchip factory. So this actually sells stuff. So it actually has a supply and demand mechanic going on that's affecting the prices of the black market. However, defense platforms don't sell anything. So if you manage to get a black market to spawn on a defense platform, it's the only thing it sells, and the prices go absolutely mental. Like, this space speed is 96% above average price. That 197, like, that is nuts. That is absolutely nuts. We're making just absolutely gobsmackingly large amounts of cash out of these. It's the only reason our money is still at like 30 million, despite all the dumb stuff we've bought and paying off the Vigor for 15, and like it doesn't matter. We have just gobsmackingly large amounts of money coming in from that. So, do we do the sneaky breaky attack on the Vigor Syndicate and see if we can make it work that way? Or do we kill him with a giant fleet of destroyers? I'm not sure yet, but I think that's going to have to wait till the next episode because this took way too long. That mission, I kept getting distracted on it all the time, as you do. But anyway, next up, we knock out the Vigor Syndicate. We make the Vigor Syndicate friendly again, and then we can finally settle down in Avarice. The reason we want to settle down in Avarice, despite the fact it has that sun tide that causes everything to required to be coated in fairy juice, is because of the sunlight. The sunlight levels here are 1,390%. Now, normally you don't really care that much about power, you just build more solar panels, they're relatively cheap. But we want to go with a scrap economy, and scrap economies require huge amounts of power, which is why the Avarice places are so good for setting up solar for them. Problem is the closest place to get scrap is over here in Windfall. Now, you can get scrap from fights, but scrap is sort of treated like a mining material as well. In the same way that you can mine ore forever in some sectors, you can mine scrap forever in some sectors. Some are better than others. Windfall, Aurora's Dream, or is it, yeah, this one I believe, is actually quite decent for scrap, and we can run, 30 or 40 scrap buildings off it. So it should be a good mix where we mine here, transport it to Avarice. However, to do that, we're going to need to we can't have the Vigor Syndicate killing everyone. So either we have to wipe out the Vigor Syndicate or make them friendly again. And wiping them out just takes more time. Like I said, we should have taken the guy's offer if they just could have stopped being so goddamn smarmy. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I let them irritate me too much and I should have... No. I can't regret it. I just can't regret it. Next up, we'll have to take out this Vigor ice refinery. Then it's going to be a case of building. I want to do a sort of a black box approach on this. I want to take some of the stuff I've learned from Dyson Sphere and Factorio and stuff like that and do a black box design for just pumping out everything we need. It's going to be, you know what, I hope it's going to be interesting, but we'll see how it works out. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed. Good luck.
Dragon. Spacesuit EMP. Astrid.
Assistant, it appears that the twins have put a bounty on your head, and the entirety of the Vigor Syndicate is looking to collect.
This is disconcerting news. I might have an idea how you could get them off your back, though. The Syndicate is only in this for the profits. They do not hold a personal grudge against you. They are only paid to care. So, if you can make it an unattractive business proposition.
Dragon. Astrid. Spacesuit EMP. Astrid.
Assistant, it appears that the twins have put a bounty on your head,